Hello everybody, my name is Lily. I am so happy that you are here with me. In today's video, I am going to work on Rolodex cards, just like this one. This is actually one of the ones that I made in today's session, and I'm going to show you how I ended up making 12 super cute Rolodex cards. I used a little bit of junk to create the base and then a die cut. I'm going to have all of that information for you in just a moment, but look at how cute they turned out, and it's basically using up your scraps, some washi tape, and some stickers that we are going to use to decorate and make these super cute. I have my Memorydex right here, and this is where I put all of my artsy Rolodex cards that I've made throughout the years. Creating Rolodex cards is one of my favorite things to do, and I will link a video down below. It's a few years old, but I think you'll enjoy the flip through. I haven't gone through this one in a while, so maybe if I add a few more in the future, I'll show you a new flip through of my Memorydex. Most of the cards that I make, I end up putting in the junk journals that I make, or I include them in outgoing mail or even happy mail. I need to build my stash for the future junk journals that I am working on, and also I use these, and I've mentioned this before, as my business card. So you guys ready to get started? And let me show you really quick before we move on, because I'm actually working on my home desk, my work desk, and I have my business Rolodex on my desk, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is little vintage Rolodex card. I've had this one since around 1997, and I have another one somewhere around here. Let me grab it because that one's ginormous. Look at this one. I am old school. I still use Rolodex cards. Look at this. I use this for business every single day, along with this one. So if you want to create artsy Rolodex cards and you don't have one of these Memorydex holders, you can always use just the vintage or the classic one, I should say. But there's also vintage ones that are super cute, and they kind of lay flat, and you can thumb through those. Those are level. I have some of those too. And the best place to find these and all kinds of other styles of Rolodex cards holders is at the thrift stores, you guys, because I like going and hunting through their paper goods, and if there's a Rolodex card holder, you know I'm gonna get it. Okay, enough chatty. Are you guys ready to get started so that we can begin working on one of these? Let's go.
These are two collage boards that I have been working on for several weeks, and when I'm in the mood to glue things, this is what I do. I have saved two of these large packaging, or yeah, they're like packaging pieces. I think I had large doilies in these, and so I've just taken scraps of paper, and then you'll notice that I've used some tissue from Your Creative Studio, and then washi tape, just kind of random things from my scrap box, things that I have saved for like later use, even things that I haven't used in a while. I will just start gluing them down. And in order to kind of keep everything cohesive, I added a little bit of the black and white washi tape, and I think that just kind of brings everything together because there is a lot going on in the background. And this, for me, this gives it some type of uniformity. But I really do love the way the Your Creative Studio tissue looks on the background. And then if you notice, I also added some rubber stamping on the background with some text, because all of those other images, the harp, the butterflies, the birds, some of the twigs and things, those already come in the Your Creative Studio packaging tissue. But I thought this was a great way to reuse it. I'm going to finish these up by taking some of this wide washi tape. This is washi tape that the washi tape shop sent me a while back. And I love it because I am going to create like a floral theme, a rose theme type of Rolodex cards. And so I thought that this washi tape would be perfect in the background. And it's another great way to use items that you haven't used in a long time. A quick tip right here. Did you see how I kind of pulled apart the backing from that washi tape? I actually learned that tip from Vicky. She is a mixed media artist, and I'm not even going to attempt to mention or to pronounce her last name because it is Greek and I don't want to butcher it. But it is Vicky Papa Now. I'm sorry, that's not correct, but if you know Vicki and you know her mixed media art style, you will know her, and she gave this tip on how to separate washi tape and stickers using just your finger, just like the little chubby little part of your of your finger to separate that. Anyway, okay, let's bring in some of the other supplies that I am going to use, and these are some of my most favorite dies. The Heidi Swapp Rolodex or Memorydex dies I've had for a very, very long time. And then that other one I think I picked up at a thrift store. That one's great for using on really thin papers, but doesn't work too well on cardstock. But these Heidi Swapp ones, these are good for cardstock, and I wasn't sure if it was going to cut through all of these layers, because not only do I have the packaging, but I also have layers of scrap paper and then washi tape. So I wasn't sure if it was going to cut through, but I thought, let's just give it a go and see how it works out. And it does work out, by the way. It works out really well. And I'm able to get 12. No, how many did I get? How many did I do total? I did total of 12. So I was able to cut out 6 of these with the die. And I'm just going to trim it down the width of my framelit die so that I can run it through the Big Shot. One thing I do want to mention is if you do not have one of these Rolodex dies, you could create this with index cards, or just cut, you know, maybe a 3x4 card and then use a hole punch, just an standard office supply hole punch, to punch out those notches at the bottom. You know, just get creative with whatever it is that you have. But if you are interested in one of these dies, the Heidi Swapp dies are no longer in production. I have had these for a really long time. But I do have an Amazon storefront, and I have that linked down below, where I have listed similar framelit dies to punch out these Rolodex or Memorydex cards. And the ones that I have in my Amazon store are so stinking cute because they have a nice scalloped edge. And I'm actually going to, I love them so much, and I work on Rolodex cards so much that I'm gonna add those to my collection. But just if you are interested in purchasing a die, but you don't have to, okay? Now I'm going to run these through the Big Shot. I brought it in to the screen just so you could see how it is that I die cut. Believe it or not, there are a lot of us in this community that don't die cut or are not familiar with the die cut machine. So for those of you that know how to use a die cut, I don't have to really give you a visual, but I do have a lot of other viewers that have asked me how I die cut, and so that's one of the reasons why I brought it into the frame. It shook the camera a little bit, but you get the point. I'm die cutting. It's gonna get shaky. And I was so pleasantly surprised with how this turned out. It took a collage board, also known as a master board, and turned it into a beautiful piece of art. And if I wanted to, I could leave it as it is. But I am just so happy with how these turned out, and I will be making more of these. I have so many scraps that I need to use up. So a perfect way to use up your scraps, and I know you've heard this many times, is to create a collage board or a master board. But then you take it one step further and you create beautiful things like these Rolodex cards. And I'm not going to show you all 12 that I am going to cut. I'm just going to show you a couple, and I'm just going to run them all through the Big Shot. My Big Shot I have had for over 10 years, probably since 2010, 11 is how old this little Big Shot is. And that green tape that you see on the handle, it's actually holding it together. Otherwise, it will fan out and just kind of split. I have traveled with this. I have moved with it several times, probably 6 times, 7 times I've moved with this. I'm ready for a new one, and I'm actually interested in getting the wider one. I think that one would be ideal. Not quite yet, because this one is still good. It still works fine. But if it ever fully comes apart, then I know I can grab the one that's on my wish list. But it's still really good. There are so many other types of die cutting machines. And so whatever you have will work perfect. My sister she doesn't have a Big Shot. She has a Cuttlebug, and she loves her little Cuttlebug. Now, notice how the framelit didn't cut all the way through on some of the cards. So I'm just helping it along by using my scissors and cutting it. Like I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of layers on these, and so I'm not surprised that it didn't fully cut all the way through, but for the most part, there were some cards there that it cut just perfect. But nothing like your good pair of scissors to help things along. So I'm going to show you the 12 that I have cut, and I'm just in love with how these turned out. And some of them are blank on the reverse side, and then you have the ones that have a little bit of collage or even some of that Your Creative Studio tissue. And the reason why I did that on the back is because it still had some of the branding and like the UPC and some of the manufacturing marks on the packaging, so that's why I covered it all up on both sides. So stinking cute. And I only used one of the framelits because this one is my favorite shape to use, and so I just stuck with the one. But I do have other styles, like I'm going to show you in just a moment. I'm going to bring my Memorydex back into the frame in just a little bit to show you some of the ones that I made off camera. So this is my Memorydex. I've also had this for a very long time. I don't know if the Memorydex is still available, but there are other similars on the market. And if you go over to my Amazon storefront, you will be able to see that. Now, I'm going to link up above the video of this flip through. I kind of pointed up to show you that I will be linking it, but like I mentioned at the very beginning, I'll also have that video linked in the description area below. These that I made off camera, this was actually my inspiration. I made these using cardstock, and notice how I used like a lavender color cardstock, and it's so hard for me to work with lavender and purple, but I love how these turned out, and I think it's because it coordinates so well with those floral stickers. For these, I just used some book page washi tape, and then I did some texture paste to a stencil, and then added the stickers on just plain scrapbooking cardstock paper. So that's another option. If you don't want to go through the trouble of creating a collage board or a master board, you can use different colored heavy cardstock as your base for these cards. And the black one actually looks really nice. There's my little Frida Rolodex card. Again, I will have that video linked down below if you want to see a full flip through of my Memorydex. Okay, the next step is we are going to do a little bit of stenciling, and we are going to use some texture paste. This is Heidi Swapp texture paste that I've also had for a really, really long time. If you haven't already noticed, I love Heidi Swapp products. I'm pointing out that I have a flip through, not a flip through, a unboxing video where I show you where that stencil came from. It was a Your Creative Studio unboxing video, and I linked that one up above and also down below if you'd like to go and take a look at that. But yes, Heidi Swapp, I am a big, big fan of Heidi Swapp products. And some of these are discontinued, and I wish she would bring them back, because for a while she had a lot of her mixed media. She had a mixed media line of products, and those were my absolute favorite. You guys know how much I love the gold shine, and I'm out of the gold shine, like 100% in the gold. The gold. I have other colors, but that gold one was my favorite. Okay, so I'm taking a little bit of this texture paste, and notice how I had to cut it open because that one's also, it's my favorite one. Look at that beautiful turquoise shade. Love how it looks through that stencil, but it's gone. I had to cut it open and then use my silicone spatula to kind of scoop out the little bit that was left in that tube. So boo-hoo-hoo, I'm so sad that one is gone, and I just love that color. So I will be on the hunt for texture paste that is also that color. I know that I can mix my own too, so I'll just have to play around. So I'm just kind of doing a little bit of texture paste on like catty corner of the card, just to give another layer of dimension. Like I said earlier, you could leave it as it is, but adding the texture paste with the stencil adds another layer of interest, and you know, why not? Let's just keep layering if we can. I'm also playing with a lot of supplies that I haven't used in a while, so this is a great way to kind of introduce those things that you've been setting aside, or they just kind of sit on the sidelines. Let's bring those back out and use them in our projects. Here is a texture paste also. This one I don't use very often. It is a silver gray color, and it's really nice, but it doesn't stand out as much. But I thought I'd go ahead and give it a try on this one card, and it turned out nice. But as I was working on that one, I wanted something much brighter. I remembered, you guys, that I have this Simon Hurley Lunar Paste texture paste. How could I have forgotten that I had this? Look at this beautiful bright turquoise color. Yes, I love it. It is much more vibrant than the Heidi Swapp texture paste, but I'm not complaining. I love turquoise. And this one is equally beautiful. Absolutely love it. It's much thinner than in consistency than the Heidi Swapp one, but it works just as well. The nice thing about this is because it's thinner, it kind of cleans up really easy from the stencil. Oh, look at how beautiful that is. I don't know how I forgot that I had that. And that's what I'm talking about. You know, I need to stop hoarding supplies and bring them out. I think if I go through my supplies and then bring a few out and leave them on my work table, I'll remember to use them. Because usually what I do is when I buy new items, I put them away. And I thought I was good at going through my things that I put away, but out of sight, out of mind. You've heard that a million times. That is a true statement. That is a fact. So let's rotate the supplies and kind of go through the things. I am air drying these just for video purposes. Normally I would just leave these and walk away and then come back to them. I actually did end up walking away because I had a phone call, so I only dried them for a split second. And I am now at the next step where I am going to add some beautiful rose stickers. These were such a lucky find at the Dollar Tree. I think they are one of the most beautiful sets of stickers that I've ever found at the Dollar Tree. I went to 5 different Dollar Trees in my area looking for these stickers, and even then I only managed to grab a few. So I'm always on the constant lookout. So every week I'll drive by the Dollar Tree and I'll stop in there to see if they've got new ones. And in fact, I did pick one up the other day when I went to the Dollar Tree to go grab some items there. I walked past the stickers and they had one. So if you're lucky enough to find these in your Dollar Tree, go get yourself some, because these are gorgeous. And they have that little cushion, that dimensional sticker on the back to give it a little bit of depth. You can remove that easily, but I don't mind a little bit of dimension on these cards. And they're not too bulky, so they will be able to be inserted into junk journals, but some of them I will keep in my Memorydex. So the bulk, really no big deal. But look at how beautiful these look, all of these flowers, and they coordinate so well with everything else that's going on in the background. I now reached into my little acrylic drawer of word phrases, of sentiments and just single words. These gold ones are stickers that I picked up at the, was it Dollar Tree? Dollar Tree or the 99-cent store a long, like 10 years ago. And you guys, I am that person that grabs the whole stack, like all of them. I know, but I am. I'm going to admit it. If there's 10 of them there and I love it, I'm going to grab all 10. I'm sorry if I didn't leave any for you. I just keep hoping that the way I justify that is I think to myself, oh, they're just going to restock for the next person, right? But I've used these for so many years and I love them. I also love these by Tim Holtz, and you can tell I love them because look, I'm almost out. So I will be getting some more of those. And those are nice and sticky, and they adhere really well to any surface. The gold ones, I will need to use a little bit of glue to stick them down because, like I said, they are 10 years old. And some of them have even fallen off of the sheet, but they all just kind of keep together in that little acrylic drawer. These are great sentiments, and they all work well on these Rolodex cards. I thought about adding a label underneath the sticker, but I don't know where my little labels are. So I don't know how things disappear. I haven't used them in a while. Maybe that's why I just don't remember where they are. Anyway, but like this, they also turned out really, really cute. And I love the way the gold looks. So if you want to DIY your own sentiments, you know, use book page phrases, that will also work really nice. But I think these are my favorite Rolodex cards that I've made in a long time. And I've made some other cute ones recently, but those have gone into my junk journals, and I've sent them out with my Etsy orders because, let me show you what else. Oh, before I jump too far ahead, this is a journal that I made as a gift. And so I am going to do the quickest, the fastest flip through I've ever done in my life. But I want to show you how I use these Rolodex cards in my junk journals as tuck spots. So all I do is I glue 2 edges and then keep it as a little pocket and then insert little goodies. And I'm sorry I didn't show you a full flip through of this, but I think this flip through was the fastest one I've ever done in my life. But it is done in the same style that I create most of my junk journals. But if you have any questions about this one, I do have a couple in the future that I will be making. And so those flip throughs won't be as fast as this one. And I know there's a second Rolodex card in this journal. I am just trying to get to it. I love the stamping I did on some of those blank pages. Oh, those large floral stamps, the leaf and the rose, those are by IOD, Iron Orchid Design. One of my favorite stamp sets. Okay, and where's that second one? Maybe I don't have it. I don't remember. There it is, my second. And again, I'm using it as a tuck spot, gluing 2 of the edges, and then using it as a pocket. So this is one way to use your Rolodex cards. The other one is to, you know, save it and make it an art piece in your Memorydex or your Rolodex card file. But I mentioned earlier that I also use these as my business cards, and all I do is I print out my information on address labels, stick it on the back of the card, and ta-da! It becomes my business card, and all of these go in my Etsy orders. You guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Stick around. Don't go away. I'm gonna say goodbye.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I am so happy that you were here with me. Let me know what you think. I think these turned out super cute, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here and joining me on my YouTube channel. If you are not subscribed, I invite you to subscribe so that you can see more content like this. If you have ideas for future videos that you would like to share with me, please leave that in the comments section below. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and share my video with your family and friends. You guys are awesome, and I will see you next time. Bye!